All right, everyone, we are here with a very special guest. We are joined by the lovely Charity Lawson, the newest Bachelorette whose season premieres tonight. She's looking absolutely stunning, gorgeous, ready for the season. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so you look every bit the part.
No.
100%. The dress, the makeup, the hair, like you're just absolutely stunning.
Sweet. Thank you.
My gosh.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? It's here finally. I know you have to wait months and months for everybody to watch it. Excited or kind of like,
It's everything. I mean, truly, it's excitement. But like, as you know, knowing it's tonight, like I'm so anxious. I'm anxious just because I know, honestly, everything that happened. Right? So now it's like, okay, what's gonna make air, and just honestly how everyone's gonna react to it. Like it's a lot. It's a lot weighing on me, but I'm so excited for you guys to see.
Now, we ask every Bachelor and Bachelorette this question.
Yeah.
What is the biggest misconception you had going into the show? What surprised you the most? Because I feel like you have an idea going into it, and then it's just a whirlwind.
I think like when I accepted like the role of like Bachelorette, I was like, oh, like this is gonna be so easy. Just considering like obviously my time on like Zach's season, I was like, okay, like this isn't like as crazy as it is, but like times 20, like I'm sorry, but it's hell. Like it's actual hell trying to navigate like so many like different relationships, and then obviously they're all like very different, but like ultimately I'm here for a purpose, so it's like I have to like figure out what's best for me, and that's so hard, like so hard. So I think people like may have an idea of like how this all works, but like truly like no one understands it until you like are actually in the trenches.
Fully living it, and also being on the opposite side.
Oh, for sure.
Because when you're a contestant, it's way different than being the lead. You have to handle the conversations. You have to remember everybody's name.
Yeah, I was like having my little flashcards.
Now, because you get to the way, and normally they do it this way, sometimes they don't, but normally it's, they pick somebody that was on The Bachelor and they get to be the next big star. Did you feel like you knew how you felt on the contestant side? Was there anything that you went into being the Bachelorette as like, I'm going to make sure I do this?
That's a good question. I think like I noticed like while I was filming, like I was trying to like reassure the guys a lot, like about like the process of it. Like I hate using that word, but like truly that's what it is.
Like, guys, trust the process.
Yeah, like you'll notice, like I don't know, like obviously won't be shown, but like a lot of guys really confided with like the whole like logistics of like, just the cameras and stuff, and like me trying to like assure them that like, okay, like you just have to get to a place where like that doesn't matter. And I found myself doing that so much. So like obviously like being a contestant, like I know how it is, and like once you get to a certain mark, like all that like doesn't really matter anymore. And I was just like, hang on. Like I'm trying to like beg them to like hang on, but yeah, some of them like it just gets caught up. So yeah.
Right. Besides obviously finding the love of your life, what was one goal that you went into this season having?
I really wanted to grow in like my ability to be like more decisive, so I really struggle a lot with like indecisiveness, and so I was like, this shit's about to get put to the test.
Especially here, they're like, you better pick and choose right
like,
now.
You cannot be
like
wishy-washy in this situation.
Yeah, rose ceremonies are like difficult for me. Yeah, I mean, it's just hard. It's like hard making decisions, especially like I'm like an empath, so I could connect with people like really heavily early on. I just feel for like people's emotions. So yeah, like me learning to just make decisions and like sticking to them.
Do you second guess a lot?
Yeah, but like it's so crazy because I don't think I do that much this season. So like that's like a refreshing thing and like a change that I saw in myself. So yeah.
Right. That's great.
So what is the big plan for watching episode 1? Who do you want to watch? Who are you watching with?
Plan on surrounding myself with friends and family, obviously. And so having like my support system, I think will just be helpful, because like I said, I know how all of it like plays out, but it's just going to be so weird watching it back.
You plan on watching every single episode?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's no way you can. It's appointment television for anybody, everybody anyway. Like everybody, the live tweeting, there's like a whole aspect to it.
Yeah.
But it must be crazy that you have this major secret basically the entire season.
I know.
Who have you told?
For months already.
For months. Who have you told how it happens?
Can you tell anyone?
Can you tell anybody?
Yeah. So the thing is like I only am allowed to like tell my family, obviously, because like they were there.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Do they have to sign something?
But
I'm just like gasped. I don't know why. Why was I surprised by that?
right.
Obviously.
So only
It's just their given word.
Yeah.
Only family knows, which is like insane because like obviously like I'm really close with the girls from last season. They're like at my throats trying to find out. I think some of them think they know. They don't. So yeah, it's like really hard. But I think it'll start. Hopefully, it'll be. People will start like guessing as the season.
Do you think that you'll be the type of bachelorette that joins in on like the social media craze of it all, or are you kind of just gonna like sit back, watch, see what happens? Because I think there's both, and I love a mixture of the two. You know, Gabby Wendy is so great, and she's one of our favorites, and I think it was so funny when she would like tweet something about the yes, or when Matt James with the kissing with the eyes open, there's some awareness there. Then I also understand not wanting to say anything.
See, that's the thing. It's like I'm like a 50-50, like very much like I can be sassy or like have fun with like clapping back and like trolling people. But then also it's like I know like once this really does come out, it's like there's a level of like privacy or just like, you know, I don't want to have to like respond or like have to always actively be on social media. So I don't know, who knows? But I did like promise some people that I would live tweet. So we'll see how interesting that gets.
Right. When you mentioned an interesting point, when you open the floodgates, then people expect more.
It, exactly.
And like if they know you're not the type to respond to everything, they won't expect you to be on it as much. But when they're like, oh my God, she responds to this. Right. Now I'll say this to her and say that.
So I'm like not trying to do that because I will go back. I wouldn't be that girl.
And we've known that you are the Bachelorette for months now. How has the response on social media been for you? Like since the announcement, obviously you were filming the show for a large portion of that. But now you're back.
Yeah, like I got swifted away pretty quickly. Yeah. So it's like I didn't really get to like soak it all in. But once I got back, like it was honestly refreshing to see like how much like outpour like people really had in response to it. Because, you know, it's always a hit or miss. And then I'm sure like I'm not going to be like someone's first choice, and that's okay. But for the most part, like just I think a lot of people were really like in support of like me being the Bachelorette, which made me feel really good. And it was like it was nice to see once I got back. So
now we don't usually talk about this, and I don't know why, but do you know? No, it's
interested.
No, it's very easy.
Go.
But the fashion, you know, I feel like we don't really discuss that. And when you walked in, like my jaw dropped at your dress, and I feel like you have such amazing style.
Thank you.
Did you really try to implement your style during this season? Did you have a lot of input? Because I never know when it comes to that.
1000%. That was like on my radar, like when I was like, okay, I'm the Bachelorette, I was like, oh, the outfits, like what is gonna happen? And I remember like obviously like watching Gabby and Rachel's season, there were some things I was like, I just don't know if like I would ever wear that, but I was like, that's their style, and so I wanted to see how much I was like gonna give like or have full autonomy to like be able to like say what I wanted to do, which was the case. And I definitely was like really like hands-on, very vocal about what I did like, what I didn't like. So you'll see some like iconic looks that I'm really excited
That's
for.
got to be such a fun part of it. You know, like kind of a break from all the stress is like, who doesn't love picking out clothes and
that's
outfits
like
and coming
as
up with
tired
something
as
fun.
I am, like waking up in the morning, I was like, okay, I get to wear like my favorite, like one of my favorite outfits.
Right, I know. And it's funny because it is like, it feels like a superficial element of being the Bachelorette, but also one of like the best perks of being the Bachelorette. It's like you really get to live out, I think, a lot of dreams you have of like wearing maybe like some princess gown on a date or like all something crazy.
How would you describe your personal style?
I would say it's very like chic, but also like I have like this element of like glam to it, but it's not like, you know, glitzy glam. It's just like a little heightened, and I don't know if that's like the Southern in me. Like we just love to do things like kind of big, but like
put it
in
up
between,
a notch.
just a little bit, but like chic and glam, definitely.
I love it. I can't wait to see those looks.
Yeah,
so
I want to learn a little bit more about you know, because I feel like everybody jumps right into the show, and it's just like, here is Charity. Yeah, she's the Bachelorette, but what? Charity, the person, give us a little background bio, because people we see it written out, but we don't really get to hear.
Yeah, like
and I'm
the
sure we will on the
details.
show for your season, but when
Yeah.
you're a contestant,
Yeah.
you don't get to share that stuff.
I want to go, as you talk about it, I want to go back and find your contestant bio and
Please.
see how much it matches.
I
you know
want.
what I feel
I
like
actually
that's
want you
kind
to
of
bring
fun.
that up right now because I'm pretty sure there's one thing I actually need to address. Either was it the bio from last year or this year? This year, it's also probably not fully accurate. But it's okay.
Let's see. Describe yourself as I look for this.
Okay,
Because I'm going to take me a while. I have to go to the ABC website.
So, obviously, charity me. I hate talking third person. Charity me. I am from the South, so originally from Columbus, Georgia, which is a small southern city. I would classify myself as like a small town girl, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But grew up there primarily majority of my life. I'm the youngest of four of us. There's four total. Youngest of three siblings, and I'm the baby, so that definitely makes me a little spoiled. You'll see that. But really close with my brother Nehemiah, who gets his little debut on the show too. But we're super close. Talked about my parents a lot. My parents are were married for like so long, 48 years, and I look up to them a lot. My dad was in the military, so we kind of like, before we like stayed in Columbus, moved around a lot. But once I got here, went to like really big schools, like, you know, top tier schools. Education was like so like hit on for like my parents, for us. And so went to like really good schools, ended up going to Auburn, which is obviously a really big school as well. Had a great college experience. Met some of my best friends from there. Navigated like crazy relationships. My interests would be like football, I guess. Like I wouldn't say I'm a big football person. Love shopping, exercising, mental health. That's like my things. I'm trying to think like other fun facts. I'm so
have
bad
the bio.
at it.
You have it?
I'm so bad.
Just know you.
No, I mean, you really gave us all. I'm like, she's got this down.
I want to go back and talk about other things too, but what is...
It says it's easy to see what makes Charity such a great catch. With a smile that lights up the room, a great career, and a sweet personality to match, Charity is the total package. The Georgia beauty takes her name as a call to love and care for people and has built her life on that purpose. Charity is a mental health therapist and is extremely passionate about helping people live their best lives. Now she is ready to receive the love she gives to so many others. Charity hopes her future husband is honest, loyal, and shares similar morals. I will cut out the stuff about Zach.
I don't need that.
Fun facts. Charity's all-time favorite movie is The Notebook. Charity wants to move to Walt Disney World one day.
That's not true.
Charity throws me an axe. I was going to call you out for that and be like, don't tell me you're somebody who wants to live in Disney. Because we love Disney.
We were like, was Charity a Disney adult?
Let's clear the air now. Like, okay, so I don't know, when I like saw like my initial like bio from last season, I saw that and I was like, I don't remember ever saying that. Like I never like truly said I want to live in Disney World. So they probably asked me like, have you been before? I'm like, yeah. And so it's like,
I love it so much I'd live there.
Literally, it's like, you know,
it's the best. I wish I could live there for a day.
Take one sentence and makes it like your whole personality trait. I'm like, no, that I never said that.
Like how often have you been to Disney?
Literally like, okay, so I cheered growing up. So like a lot of our like, competitions were in Disney. So like that's kind of where like my experience like came from. But then even after that, like maybe as like in high school, like 3 times. But like not like where I'm going every single year or like twice a year. You have like the season pass.
You have the itinerary.
No.
You don't have the t-shirt ready to go.
No, don't have matching shirts with the fam. Like, we're good.
Right. But I feel like the rest of the bio described you pretty well. I mean, you mentioned some of those things. And so it sums you up. But I'm really happy that we get to learn more about you.
Yeah,
this
you'll see a lot of like conversations where I unpack a lot of stuff.
I want to ask you about Auburn, like massive school.
Huge.
Beautiful. What was your major? What did you were in a sorority, right? How was that?
Yeah, it was good. You know, big school, so it's like, you know, you only like meet so many people. It's impossible like just be so well known on like a campus like that. But wasn't a sorority, and so I did not end up rushing until like my sophomore year. So like I didn't come in like freshman year and did all of that. But bunch of like my best friends are from my sorority, so like that like definitely like aided to like my experience, made it so much more fun. Was pretty close with like a lot of like athletes, like people who played sports,
Yeah.
like also like was another like niche of people that I was like super close with. But overall,
they were like their own.
It's
like their own fraternity.
It
sorority
literally is. It's like if you played a sport, like you were like separate.
Yeah.
But a lot of my friends too, like also were athletes, so like it just it made sense. But yeah, no, Auburn was great. Like Auburn had the best time. If I could go back and do it again, 100% would not choose another school. It's just like a tight knit like university, so I love that. That's like why I was drawn there to begin with. But
because you were in a sorority and then you had to go live in a house with a bunch of girls for The Bachelor, did you feel any similarities to that?
So yes and no. I would say like Bachelor was like way worse. Like way worse in a sense, just because like space and just I don't know, like these are obviously like people that are not similar to like obviously the girls in your sorority. So it's like so many different personalities in one roof or under one roof. But it was still fun nonetheless. Like,
I know, and I do feel like with a sorority, you have that feeling where you kind of all picked each other.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like personalities are kind of similar, vibes are
like
similar.
you did not pick the other people you went on the show with.
That's not at all. Not at all.
So then what was like post grad life like for you, and then how did you end up even getting on The Bachelor?
Yeah, post grad life for me, like once I like originally graduated, like undergraduate, I took like a year off before I went back for grad school. So I was like just trying to like get my footing and like working and seeing like what I really wanted to do. And so then like once I decided, I went back, got my master's, and so like that transition was just kind of like, it was weird because I don't think I ever like really fully had like the what's it called, like the adulthood, like from college, like transition, because I was like in grad school while I was like simultaneously doing that at the same time. So it was like a week after I graduated my master's, my best friend like texted me and she was like, I nominated you for the show. And I was like, what show? Like I did not know what she was talking about. And I remember like getting like a call from like a California number, and I didn't answer it because I was like, I don't know, but it was a casting producer, and so she was like, yeah, we got a nomination for you. And I was like, this bitch like literally like, she really did.
She really did it.
Right. And so like I talked to her about it, and then just like reflecting back, I was like, I can't believe you actually submitted this. She was like, no, like this is like your time. And I was like, I'm graduating grad school, like what makes you think this is like the perfect timing? Like my life is in such a transition right now. But then like I sat on it, and like the more I talked to like the producers about it, I was like, I don't know, like it might just be like good timing for me, because like I'm not in a relationship anymore. I've had time to be single. Like I'm getting my footing with everything. So I was like, I don't know, like this might just be like my shot. So ended up going on.
Yeah. Were you a relationship person or like a casual dating person?
So after my like long-term relationship, it became like I was a casual dater. Like I was like, I'm not getting any relationships right now. Just kind of want to see, like honestly, I feel like my whole outlook on relationships changed after that relationship anyway. So
college
I was like,
relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely like tried to see like what my new interests were, seeing what it would look like dating other people, and that was like fun, but it just wasn't like wasn't of substance, you know.
And then doing that obviously led you to being the Bachelorette. What was that conversation like? Did you think like, because there's conversations like that all the time.
Oh my God,
where
exactly.
People are like, oh, will I be the Bachelorette? You know, there's a chance.
It was one of those things, like I can honestly say, like obviously there was like other people in conversations of like, okay, this person could also be it. And in the back of my head, I like struggle a lot with just like imposter syndrome, or just like I'm such a humble person, so I never place myself on like a pedestal to be like, oh, it's definitely going to be me. Like I never thought that for a second. And so when I was told, like obviously I know like there was like split reviews of like she already knew, but like I totally didn't know. Like obviously it was in conversation, but like I didn't fully know. And so like definitely was a crazy,
just a shock. And you really didn't have. You were told, and then it was pretty quick, right?
Oh, yeah,
that you were like night one limo.
Yeah,
right?
like
and was it an immediate yes from you? Were you like, yeah, I'm just going to do it, go right into it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, and like the question even of like Bachelor in Paradise, like I was like, I don't know, will I survive on Paradise? That might be also hell. So just like, I think the ability of like I said, just kind of going into it hindsight, or just like thinking I have an idea of like how much control I would have, or being in the driver's seat. I was like, okay, this sounds like it might be for me. So why not? And so
So night one, we're all about to watch limo entrances. Everyone gets so excited for this. How are you feeling that night? And how? I guess it's so hard when we talk to you before the show because it's like I don't. There's so much you can't say. Yeah. But how involved? We saw your brother obviously get out of the limo and like it's a big joke. Yeah. How involved was he night one?
Yes. Obviously did not know my brother was coming at all. So that was like
surprise
that
one.
was the big surprise. Jesse like really threw me for a loop when he was like, "It's gonna be someone from your past." I was like,
"Oh, you're just names are running through your head."
Like, I was like, "Are you kidding?
Oh God,
like, this is not the time. Not the time." So I was really freaking out. But then obviously when my brother got out the limo, I was like, what are you doing here? Because I literally just saw him like 3 days ago. Right. So I was like, what the hell are you doing here? And he was like, obviously he couldn't let you like go through this night alone. So it was like really like comforting to have him there. He was like this calming aspect. But then initially like I had no idea like what he was going to be doing. So like we had like our first like greeting and then like he went away. So I was like, okay, don't know where he's at, don't know what he's doing. But like now I had to like shift gears to like meeting the guys. So like it was nice, but still like.
But then it's also like, you're nervous to meet all the guys, but then it's the like back of your mind is
my
like,
brother's in there chilling somewhere.
My brother, right? And what's he saying?
Exactly. So I had no idea like what he was doing, but then obviously we know like we see that he kind of goes undercover. So for majority of the night, that's where he spends his time, just kind of gathering intel from the guys.
I like when they add fun new elements and switch it up a little bit. And correct me if I'm wrong, but they've never done anything like this before, right? Where they bring a sibling.
I don't think so.
I don't think we've seen that. I mean, obviously later on in the show, but I don't think night one they ever really bring like a family member to join.
Right, which I like. Like put on the pressure.
I know.
Like let's.
I wanted to see them squirm.
Exactly, and like it's a good way to test,
to weed out the bad ones,
test them out right off the bat. You can be like, because normally in a normal dating scenario,
I wouldn't have my brother show up on the first
right, exactly. But even like if you were seeing somebody and they met your family, and if they didn't immediately click, you'd be like, this could maybe be an issue. So it's like right off the bat, let's see.
Exactly. and I feel like you don't want somebody who's like too confident, but you don't want someone who's scared.
That's
like someone
thing.
who respects your brother, but at the same time, you know what I mean? Like not want someone who's going to run away.
Yes, exactly.
Were there any limo entrances that really just shocked you?
Yes. There is one limo entrance where a specific guy asked me to kick him in the balls, and I was like, did not know what was happening. I was like, is this for real? But it was like, it was just such a peculiar
like, do you really want me to do this?
I didn't know.
You might need those later on.
Did not know.
Right. It's like, are they not there?
Exactly. I was questioning so much. I was like, what?
Oh, man.
And then there was one that I thought was really cute, but like towards the end of the night kind of weirded me out. But
it's like
started off good.
Oh my God, I love that. That's so fair. It's like, and the initial reaction is that was so sweet. But then you're like,
it was cute, but then it like ended up becoming
sweet.
like something that was like he did the whole night. Like every time we talked, I was like, it was just like this little GoPro, and so he was like making like a home video of like to show our future kids. It was a cute concept at first,
right?
But then it like everything. I was like, hi, I'm with your mom again. I'm like, okay, can we move the camera?
Yeah, that's a little creepy. I like the idea of like, this is when we first met. Put it away. Don't bring it back out the rest of the night. I think that's cute because then if it does work out, then you have that moment.
Exactly.
Well, you have it anyway because it's filmed on TV. But like selfie style. But yeah, that sounds like it's too much.
Yeah, it was doing too much. But like, the guys were really like creative, but also it was more heartfelt. So like you'll see more like limo entrances that are just like where they're just like talking, having a conversation, which I don't think we see. We always see like no shame, like the corny shit. Like, where it's like, you have to like, they love that. So they try to pull that out of the guys, but I think they kind of went with their own lead. Yeah.
And I feel like the show always, it ebbs and flows, right? Like where sometimes it feels like we're so social media focused and like, why are we here? And they're here for the right reasons, the whole thing. And
oh my God.
It does kind of feel like it's not like slowed down's not the right word, but the immediate fame post show, like there was an era where it was so crazy.
Yes.
And I feel like it slowed down a little bit, which is kind of nice because it
refreshing.
feels
Are
a
you
little bit
kidding?
more genuine for the contestants. Did you feel like you had a lot of genuine guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I had a lot of guys who, I'm going off what they said,
Right.
just have like never really seen the show, or like a lot that like got nominated. I just feel so much at peace when I hear like, oh, I didn't sign up for it,
Right.
versus like I got nominated and like I'm taking like a leap of faith because like I don't know, like it resonates with me. So
Right,
I'm
'cause
like,
it's
okay,
like, I did that.
exactly,
Yeah,
same thing for
yeah,
me.
yeah.
But like no. The intentionality behind like a lot of these guys, like it's just so different, and also like they're a lot older too, so like that age is definitely like a
Yeah,
huge
it's a
part
factor,
of it.
yeah.
Like they're like 30, 31. I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
Not like 22, 23.
Right.
Yeah, so
I feel like that always does make a big difference. And I'm sure you got to travel to some amazing
Yes,
places.
yes.
Was that a big perk of this all?
it was,
this whole thing?
yeah. One of my favorites was like Fiji, and so like
Oh my
never,
God, I
never been,
wish.
obviously never been there.
Yeah.
But I was like breathtaking. Like didn't have to do anything.
only
just sit
imagine.
on the sand and just stare because it's insane.
That is
So,
a dream.
yeah.
place.
It was hot, but it was good.
Yeah.
So I know, like we said, you can't really share too much because we all have to watch it unfold. But
Yeah.
we know every season everybody gets to a certain point. And it's like fantasy suites. Things start to get serious. Did you have any preconceived notions going into fantasy suites that
Never.
you were like,
Never. Like
What is
I
this?
made that promise of like I'm not doing no shade to Zach,
Right,
but
right.
like the whole like no sex, like
Yeah.
I'm not making a promise
Right.
because I
You
don't
didn't
know
make
what
any
the hell-
vows to
Yeah, I was
yourself
like,
before
no.
you went in.
Like I literally don't know what's gonna happen. It's also not fair for me to make like a decision for like other people because like I'm not the only person in this relationship. Like I don't know what they need, so it's like trying to meet them also halfway. But yeah, like I will say that week is
yeah.
just chaotic.
That's what we love to hear.
Right.
That is what we love to hear.
Yeah.
We always ask everybody too when they come in before their season starts, like, are you happy? Are you good right now?
Truly.
Yeah.
No, great valid question.
Yeah.
I'm happy with how things turned out. I can say that. So
That's a good.
Okay, well,
yeah, I think that leaves you on the edge of your seat.
Everyone always says
And let me
that.
tell you, everybody says that same thing.
And
we're like,
it all turns out
and
differently.
sometimes I think back to the season and I'm like, that person said that and they definitely didn't mean it.
No.
You know?
They lied through their teeth. She could be
We're
lying
like,
to us
we
right
saw
now.
how the season ended. I don't really know if they meant that.
Yeah, no.
I do have to say though, sitting here with you and
Yeah.
meeting you and talking to you as a person has made me so excited for this season. I
yay.
feel like, it like ebbs and flows,
Yeah.
with like who the Bachelor, Bachelorette is, how exciting
always.
it could be. But I feel like you have just this such like fun personality and you could tell like you are truly you. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're authentic, you're yourself. And I'm really excited for the season.
Yay. I'm excited for you guys to see. It's going to be great.
We can't wait. So obviously, everybody make sure you're watching
Yes,
tonight.
yes.
ABC, 8 p.m. You all know the drill.
Yep.
This is not news to anybody.
9 p.m.
9 p.m. Oh,
Oh,
my
right.
God,
Yes,
duh.
let me
Change it.
correct.
Sorry,
9
sorry,
p.m.
9
You know
p.m.
what? I went through, I say it all the time. It's like the same. It's like ingrained in my brain. We're going to have to teach ourselves to say 9 p.m.
Yes, 9 p.m.
Well, I feel so bad. I have no control over that.
Yeah. 9 p.m.
We're gonna be up late.
I know.
Hey, 9 p.m. after Claim to Fame.
Yes,
That's the way it's going.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's very exciting. And we can't wait to see how this
can't wait.
unfolds for you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
You guys
Charity.
are so sweet. It's so fun.